With so many historic events happening in the last year, education and the way students are taught about Black history is at the forefront.
News 10 NBC's Raven Brown spoke with prominent educators in Monroe County who reflect on how teaching Black history has evolved through the years, hoping to be the change makers.
I knew for me, education made the difference.
Brittany RUMPH grew up in inner city Rochester. As an RCSD graduate, she had a front row watching how education has evolved.
When we think about children growing up in a school that isn't very diverse, both in staffing and in students, you realize that there's something missing, that children will grow up with something missing, and then they'll go into a world with misconceptions, which have led our nation to where we are now.
She has been in education the last 11 years and is now in the process of building her own school, the proposed Rochester Excellence Academy.
And we developed a school that is geared at building the foundation for our students in both literacy and math, but also paying attention to and realizing that the social emotional health is for our children is just as important as academics.
Social and emotional health being a key focus following several high-profile incidents involving police, along with Black Lives Matter protests over the summer and the 2021 insurrection at the Capitol. RUMPH and other educators say teaching the right language and portrayal of situations can make a difference.
It is critically important that we embed Black history, and it really is a both end. It needs to be embedded and it needs to be studied as a standalone.
RCSD Superintendent Dr. Leslie Myers-Small says it goes further back than starting with slavery and what's happening in present day that many generations have yet to be taught.
We were kings and we were queens, we were royalty. And that often is not focused on, or there's not often a context. So we really have to work very hard to make sure that history is righted and that it is accurately portrayed and articulated to our young people.
Superintendent of East High, Dr. SHAUN reflects on how and to what extent teaching has evolved since he's been in school.
When I grew up in Buffalo, New York, the contributions of Black and brown individuals, people of color, was part of our core curriculum. So I grew up assuming that all students were learning this because I went to a neighborhood school that was predominantly in a Black community. And it wasn't until I got to college, and I was a history major in college, that I realized that those who were sitting around me had no idea about the contributions of in my case, Black Americans as part of American history.
He says Black history is more than the negative, and now is the time to correct what's been omitted over the years.
Make sure that what we're teaching is balanced and what we're teaching truly reflects the contributions of all. And I think that's the goal at this point, is to tell the truth and to not pretending that a whitewashed history truly reflects who we are.
What do you hope 5 years from now we'll be in a place at?
The contributions of individuals are duly noted in the curriculum and they're duly assessed, right? At the end of the year, whatever that looks like.
5 years from now, I would like to see equity in schools. The pandemic came around and just highlighted inequities that were already there.
All with the same goal, hoping to turn the page where Black history is just history itself. Raven Brown, News 10 NBC.
And Brittany RUMPH says they have a projected opening of August 2022. This year, Monroe County Schools also announced they're changing the curriculum to focus on issues of equity and social justice. To learn more, look for this story on our website, WHEC.com.